Hello and thank you for joining my channel Infoverse Tech, where we explore new ideas or new technology. Today we're going to look at WSL, which is Windows subsystem for Linux, which allows us to install a variety of Linux distributions on our on our existing Windows system or environment, and this can be done without making any significant changes to the Windows installation like dual boot or anything of that type. And some of the distributions that are available include Ubuntu, SUSE, Debian, and Kali Linux. So the first thing to note is that this can be run on a Windows 10 build 16215. This is the minimum requirement that you need before you can run the WSL. So the first thing to do is to launch PowerShell as an administrator, and then enter the following command. So let me just type that out. It says enable dash Windows optional feature make sure you're entering it correctly. Feature name Microsoft Windows subsystem dash Linux. So once this is run, you will be required to restart the PC. So I've done that. I'm skipping that step. Once your PC comes back, you should see that you can go to Windows Store here and search for, let's say, let me just go back, and in the search box I will enter Linux, and it'll show you some of the available distributions that you can, and these are free of course to install. So let's see if I choose Ubuntu. So it'll say get the Ubuntu version. I can click that. It will download and install on my PC. Once it's installed, earlier I installed Kali Linux, so if I go here, it shows up in my start menu. So if I click that, you can see it drops me in a Kali Linux shell, and I've already set up the username and password. For the first time install for you, it will ask for a username and password to get logged in. So in a subsequent video, I will show you how you can run some commands on Kali Linux and help you explore and learn Linux. Okay, now that we are logged in and we have our Kali Linux terminal up and running, let's start with updating and then adding or installing some commonly used tools like Wireshark or Metasploit framework. And later on in the video, we'll also see how we can enable a GUI interface and able to access it over remote desktop. The first thing we need to know when communicating with Kali Linux is to use a sudo command. Sudo command allows a normal user to have privileged access, typically as an admin user, and to run those commands in a safe and audited manner. So to go ahead and update this installation that we just did, so I'll enter sudo apt update, and it asks me for the password, which is the password for user Infoverse. Okay, let me just retype it. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. Okay, so now it's connecting to an online repository and adding it. Okay, the next thing to do is to do an upgrade. So I will enter get distribute upgrade. I want to say yes. So depending on your internet connection and speed, it'll take some time to download and update your existing installation. So let's give it a few minutes. While we wait, we can consider doing some research and choosing which tools to run. So one of them is Wireshark and the other one is a Metasploit framework. Both of these allow extended capability to Kali Linux to work as a security distribution. Okay, great. So looks like it's completed, and our installation of Kali should be upgraded to the latest versions. Now let's take a look at installing one of the more popular frameworks, which is Metasploit framework. So the command to enter is sudo apt-get install. Okay, let's install Wireshark first, and then we'll install Metasploit framework. Okay, yes. And again, depending on our internet connection and speed, it'll take a few minutes to download and install. Okay, so Wireshark installed. Let's go ahead and install the next application that we're interested in, which is Metasploit framework. Yes, I want to install. Okay, so that seems to have completed, and now we should have Metasploit framework installed as well. Now let's go ahead and set up Kali for GUI access. So I'm going to install a lightweight manager, XFCE4. And again, depending on the internet connection and speed, this may take a few minutes to complete. Download and install. Okay, so that completes the installation of the XFCE4 desktop manager. Now let's get the XRDP server installed. The command again is sudo apt-get install and the name of the application, which is XRDP, which will allow a client like Windows RDP to connect. So few minutes to install this program. It'll update a configuration file. Okay, great, looks good. So this should be available on port 3389. So let's test it out. Let me start it. So sudo accessing the configuration file, XRDP start. Okay, so I'm allowing access. and let's see if it has started successfully. Okay, perfect. So it's running. Let's check that out. Let me fire up Windows desktop application, and I'm going to put in the local host. It's all running on my local machine. And let me see if I can provide the port here. Okay, perfect. So I have connected. I'm going to enter the username. Perfect. So this is Kali Linux. Although we started with the command line CLI interface, we now have a fully completed running GUI, and I can access the terminal here. I have a web browser built in. These are some of the built-in commands that have come with Kali Linux. Okay, and let's see what applications we have here. So in multimedia, in system, we have some terminals. We have Wireshark, which we installed earlier. I'm gonna come back and run that. And let's see what else do we have. We have a terminal emulator, file manager, web browser. Okay, I was hoping to see Metasploit framework installed as well, but we don't see it here. We'll have to see why it's not showing up in one of these. Okay, so just checking out. In order to run these applications like Wireshark or Metasploit, I'll have to create another video to go through all of these applications. But all in all, very successful. We have Kali Linux running, and we also managed to install a GUI version. So let's see if we can run it from here. So okay, so yeah, we will have to get some details where it's running, how it's installed, and what are some of the requirements to run both Wireshark and Metasploit framework. So thank you very much for watching.